Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Rink-Side with Hits and Clips. Well, in episode number 23, I am going to be recapping the overall championship and semi-final series between both the OJHL and the PJHL. Now, if you've been following our YouTube channel, I've been meaning to get more episodes out lately, but it's just been a really busy past week or two, so I haven't been able to get out and edit some videos as much. But with a lot of the Junior Hockey League series starting to come to an end to end off this season, I wasn't going to miss out in recording another episode for all you guys of what's been going on in the Provincial Junior Hockey League and the Ontario Junior Hockey League. We're going to start with the Provincial Junior Hockey League, the PJHL, and although we haven't reached our Schmaltz Cup champion yet, we have made it to the Schmaltz Cup finals as the two semifinal series have come to a conclusion, and first being the Hanover Barons defeating the Napanee Raiders in 7 games, winning that series 4-3, and the Essex 73s eliminating the New Hamburg Firebirds in 5 games, winning that series 4-1. So let's get started. Well, if you're new to our channel, thank you so much for your support. We really appreciate all of the subscribers and the interactions and the likes that we've had from every single person on our channel. And we hope that you've loved the content that we've been putting out, as it can be very time consuming to record, edit, and upload on our own time and schedule. So we appreciate the support, and like we said, we will get as many episodes out as possible as a lot of these hockey leagues come to a conclusion. Well, we are going to start with the first Schmaltz Cup semifinal matchup, and that was between the Hanover Barons and the Napanee Raiders, and this was the one semifinal matchup I was actually waiting on to conclude before I could do another record, because all the other series, all the other games had finished, and we were just waiting on this one. Well, Game 7 happened to come to an end last night as Hanover defeated Napanee, and they will move to the Schmaltz Cup Championship Final Series against the Essex 73s. Well, let's just see how this entire series between Napanee and Hanover unfolded. Well, in Game 1 on Thursday, April 17th, it was the Napanee Raiders who defeated Hanover 3-1 in Hanover, taking a 1-0 series lead back to Napanee. On Friday, April 18th, in Napanee, the Hanover Barons came out over Napanee 5-2, and they end up tying this series at 1. Well, we move to Sunday, April 20th, back in Napanee again, and this time it was in overtime, where the Napanee Raiders defeated Hanover 2-1, and they take a commanding 2-1 series lead over the Barons. Well, we go to game number 4 on Friday, April 25th, and it was Hanover who came back and tied the series as they won that game 5-2, and we go to game number 5 in Napanee. Well, on Sunday, April 27th for game number 5, this one also finished in overtime, but it was in Napanee's favor as they won that game 5-4, and at this point, they take a 3-2 series lead. Well, on Tuesday, April 29th, it was the Hanover Barons in Hanover who defeated Napanee 4-3, and they tie the series at 3, which means we are going to need a Game 7, and that's exactly what took place last night, as it was the Hanover Barons defeating the Napanee Raiders 5-2, and the Hanover Barons will be participating in the Schmaltz Cup Final Championship Series, and they will officially take on the Essex 73s. Well, what took place in that Essex and New Hamburg series for the semifinals? Well, in game number 1, in overtime, on Thursday, April 17th, it was the New Hamburg Firebirds who defeated Essex 2-1, and they take a 1-0 series lead. On Monday, April 21st, for game number 2, Essex ties the series at 1 as they get a 2-1 victory in New Hamburg. Well, on Wednesday, April 23rd, for game number 3 in New Hamburg, the Essex 73s defeated New Hamburg 3-1, and Essex takes a 2-1 series lead at this point. We go to game 4 in Essex, and on Friday, April 25th, the Essex 73s pulled away with a 3-2 victory, and they take a 3-1 series lead and a chance to eliminate New Hamburg on Sunday, April 27th in Game 5, and that's exactly what they did, as they defeated New Hamburg 2-1. They win the series 4-1 in 5 games, and the Essex 73s will officially play the Hanover Barons for the 2025 Schmaltz Cup. Well, we're going to move to the OJHL now, and I'm not sure of how many of you have been following the Ontario Junior Hockey League lately, but the Trenton Golden Hawks will be moving on to the Buckland Cup Championship tournament out in Calgary, Alberta. And I was just doing a little research before I came on to record this podcast, and it appears since the 2016-2017 season, the Trenton Golden Hawks have made the finals in the OJHL 3 consecutive times. However, it was Georgetown who defeated Trenton 4-3 in Game 7 in the 2016-2017 season to defeat Trenton. In the 2022-23 season, Trenton fell once again in Game 7 but to Collingwood, and then just the year after, Trenton also fell to Collingwood in the finals. However, that one was only in 6 games, and it just seems like the Trenton Golden Hawks have been making an outstanding appearance in the OJHL finals 3 consecutive times in the past 7 years. Now, obviously, there wasn't any hockey being played for the 2019-2020 and the 2020-2021 season because of the COVID pandemic. But just in those 7 years, the Trenton Golden Hawks have been making 3 straight appearances, and that now makes it 8 straight years, making a 4th appearance in the OJHL finals. But this time, Trenton ends up coming away defeating the Milton Menace in the finals, and they will be heading to the Buckland Cup in Calgary, Alberta. Now, if you just wanted a little scoop on how Collingwood was just so dominant over the past couple seasons defeating Trenton, well, Collingwood actually fell to Milton 4-1, but they defeated King. So you just think about it. Was Milton at Collingwood's level this season? Because Collingwood and Milton ended up playing in the Western Conference Round 2 series, where if it wasn't Milton, we could have very well had another Collingwood and Trenton series for the 3rd consecutive year in a row. So only time could tell, but it seems like the Trenton Golden Hawks, not only was Collingwood one of their previous competitors facing off in the past couple of seasons, but they had a new opponent over Milton, and it seemed like Milton was just a little too much for Collingwood this year. But Collingwood, if they weren't playing Milton, they very well could have been playing Trenton again, and this could have gone either way, and it just could have turned out in anyone's favor at that point. So just to recap of what actually happened in this OJHL Championship Series between Trenton and Milton, on Saturday, April 19th, for game number 1 in Trenton, the Trenton Golden Hawks shut out Milton, winning that game 3-0. They take a 1-0 series lead. We head to Milton for game 2 on Monday, April 21st, and it was Trenton coming out on top once again over Milton, winning that game 3-2, taking a 2-0 series lead out to Trenton. And then on Wednesday, April 23rd, for game number 3, Milton ends up shutting out Trenton this time 4-0, and they make the series 2-1 in favor of Trenton at this point. Well, for game number 4 on Friday, April 25th, it was Trenton who came out strong on their end, and they defeated Milton 7-2. Well, Trenton, they have a 3-1 series lead at this point, and they look to end things in game number 5. Well, in game number 5 on Monday, April 28th, it was Milton who saved their season, avoiding elimination, defeating Trenton 4-2 in game 5, which means we're going to go to game number 6. And on Wednesday, April 30th, in overtime, Trenton defeats Milton 3-2. They win the series 4-2. And they are on their way to the Buckland Cup. So if you were to tell me that the Trenton Golden Hawks and the Milton Menace were going to meet in the finals back in round number 1, or let alone the first game of the season, I really wouldn't have thought that would have been possible, because there were a lot of dominant competitors out there. And we saw in the past couple of rounds, there were a lot of dominant competitors like the Buffalo Junior Sabres, the Haliburton County Huskies, the Stouffville Spirit, the Collingwood Blues, and the Leamington Flyers, just to name a few. But I think the Trenton Golden Hawks finally finally found the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow this season after just coming up so short to the Collingwood Blues in the past 2 seasons, and they will now advance to the Buckland Cup happening in Calgary, Alberta. So with round 3 officially coming to a close this past week, we will now move on to the Centennial Cup for the Buckland Cup, and this will be taking place, as I mentioned, in Calgary, Alberta, from May 8th to May 18th. So be sure to keep an eye on that tournament if you would like to know further. I will make an OJHL finale episode once the Buckland Cup champion has been revealed, as well as who will be winning the Schmaltz Cup in the PJHL. So be sure to tune in for that specific topic of OJ and PJHL hockey. But in the meantime, be sure to tune in to all of our previous episodes that are available on YouTube, as well as on Spotify, and all of our latest notifications on Bluesky as well. So as I mentioned before, the week has been fairly busy, and I haven't been able to get around to editing a lot of videos as much. However, my co-host, Zach Kingston, he has also been able to participate in helping record episodes, edit, as well as create graphics too on his end. So if I personally won't be able to record or edit any on my end, be sure to look out for content on Zach's end as well. But we really appreciate the support, everyone. Be sure to tune in to our YouTube channel, subscribe to us, follow us on Spotify, and follow us over on Bluesky so you don't miss any up-to-date notifications. Thanks, everyone, and we will see you again soon.